Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into a specific but pretty important area of dental tech, Apex locators.
That's right. We've got this 2025 market report, and we're aiming to, well, understand where things stand now and where they're heading.
Exactly. And for anyone maybe not familiar, these Apex locators
They're crucial, right?
for root canals.
Absolutely vital. Think of them as like a precise GPS for inside the tooth. They help the dentist find the exact end of the root canal. Super important for success.
Got it. And it's not a tiny market either. This report from Anushka Gore, report ID CMR939050, just updated March 2025. By the way, it puts the global market at USD 66.2 million for this year, 2025.
And the projection is pretty striking. It's expected to climb to USD 117.19 million by 2033.
Wow, that's nearly double. What's the growth rate on that?
That works out to a CAGR, compound annual growth rate of 7.40%. Pretty healthy growth.
Okay, so 7.40% CAGR. That's significant. Let's unpack what's really driving this expansion globally.
Well, the report consistently points to one main thing: the rising demand for really precise root canal treatments. That seems to be the core driver.
Makes sense. More procedures, more need for the tech. So how does this break down across different parts of the world? Looks like North America is leading the pack.
Yeah, definitely. North America holds over 40% of the global revenue right now.
40%, okay.
Their market size for 2025 is estimated at USD 24.49 million. And the growth there is projected at a 5.9% CAGR through 2033. Still solid, even for a mature market.
And within North America, the report breaks it down further, right?
It does. The U.S. is the big one, obviously.
Huh?
USD 19.33 million projected for 2025, growing at about 5.7%.
Okay.
Then you have Canada, around USD 2.94 million, but growing a bit faster at 6.7%.
Interesting.
And Mexico comes in at USD 2.23 million with a 6.4% CAGR. So still decent growth across the board there.
So why is North America so dominant? Is it just the established healthcare system?
That's a huge part of it. You've got advanced dental care infrastructure, high adoption rates for new tech, a large number of dental professionals, plus high patient awareness and, frankly, higher spending capacity for these kinds of treatments. It all adds up.
Okay, let's hop across the pond to Europe. They're a major player too, yeah.
Absolutely. Europe accounts for just over 30% of the global revenue, so a significant chunk.
And their numbers.
For 2025, the forecast is USD 19.20 million, and the CAGR is expected to be around 6.4% through 2033. Still quite strong.
The report gives a lot of detail on Europe. Let's see, UK, USD 3.23 million, 7.2% CAGR. That's higher than the average.
Yeah, interesting.
Germany's the biggest in Europe. USD 3.80 million, 6.6% CAGR. France, 1.77 million, 5.6%. Italy, 1.65 million, 5.8%.
Okay.
Then there's Russia at almost 3 million, 2.98, but slower growth at 5.4%. Spain, 1.57 million, 5.2%. Sweden, 0.60 million and 0.23 million, respectively, with KDRs over 6%. And the rest of Europe adds another 2.69 million. It's a diverse picture.
So what are the common threads driving growth across such a varied region like Europe? Well, generally, there's rising awareness about dental health overall. People are seeking out more modern treatments.
Okay.
You also have advanced facilities, especially in places like Germany and the UK. And the aging population factor comes into play, too, potentially more need for endodontic work.
And government policies, do they help?
Likely, yes. Supportive healthcare policies in many European countries probably contribute to the uptake of these technologies.
All right, let's shift focus now to the region everyone's talking about for growth, Asia Pacific, APAC.
Yes, APAC.
Yeah.
Currently around 23% of the global revenue, so smaller than North America or Europe now. But the growth is where the story is. Estimated at USD 15.89 million for 2025, but the projected CAGR is a whopping 10.1%. That's the fastest globally.
10.1%. Okay, who's leading the charge there?
China's the largest market in APAC, USD 6.67 million, growing at 9.6%. Japan's next, 2.19 million, 8.6%. South Korea, 1.91 million, 9.2%.
And India, I see a big number there.
Yeah, India's market is smaller currently, USD 1.59 million. But look at the CAGR, 12.0%. That's huge.
12%. Wow. Okay, who else? Australia, Singapore, Taiwan.
Right. Australia, around 0.83 million, 9.4%. Singapore, 0.32 million, but also very high growth at 10.4%. Taiwan, 0.62 million, 9.9%.
Southeast Asia as a whole is growing fast, too.
Very much so. USD 1.05 million combined with a 10.9% CAGR. And the rest of APAC adds another 0.71 million at 9.9%. It's really dynamic across the board.
So what's fueling this explosion in APAC?
It's kind of a perfect storm, really. You've got increasing rates of dental issues, coupled with much greater awareness about oral health now.
Okay.
Plus massive investments in expanding healthcare infrastructure, a growing middle class that can afford and demand advanced treatments.
And just more dentists and clinics opening up.
Exactly. The sheer number of dental access points is increasing rapidly in many of these countries.
Okay, moving on. What about South America?
South America holds a bit over 5% of the global revenue. Market size projected at USD 2.52 million for 2025.
And the growth.
Pretty good, actually.
Mm-hmm.
An 8.1% CAGR expected through 2033. So faster than North America or Europe.
What countries stand out there?
Brazil's the largest market, USD 1.08 million, growing at 8.7%. Argentina's smaller, 0.42 million, but has a high 9.0% projected CAGR.
Interesting.
Then Colombia, Peru, Chile are all around the 0.2 million mark, with CAGRs between 7.9% and 8.4%. The rest of South America adds another 0.41 million at 7.2%.
And the drivers there, similar to APAC or different?
There are similarities. Improving healthcare systems overall, definitely a growing focus on oral health.
Right.
More demand for advanced treatments as the middle class expands. Plus, you see more dental clinics opening, and sometimes government health initiatives play a role, too.
Okay. What about the Middle East?
The Middle East is a smaller piece, around 2% of the global total. That's about USD 2.65 million for 2025.
But the growth rate looks strong.
It does, yeah. An 8.7% projected CAGR, which is quite high.
And the key markets? Saudi Arabia, UAE.
Exactly. Saudi Arabia leads at USD 0.93 million, 9.0% CAGR. UAE follows at 0.55 million, 9.2% CAGR. Turkey smaller, 0.21 million, but growing fast at 9.3%.
Qatar, Egypt too.
Yep, Qatar at 0.21 million, 8.2%. Egypt at 0.16 million, 8.4%. The rest of the region adds about 0.59 million at 7.9%.
So what's driving the growth in the Middle East specifically? Investment.
That seems key. The report likely points to significant investments in healthcare infrastructure across the region. There's also a growing focus on providing advanced dental care, alongside rising awareness and urbanization, which improves access.
Got it. And finally, Africa, the smallest market share.
Yes, around 1% of the global revenue. That translates to about USD 1.46 million in 2025.
Growth rate.
A respectable 7.7% CAGR projected through 2033, so growing steadily.
South Africa seems to be the main market there.
It is. USD 0.51 million with an 8.6% CAGR. Nigeria is much smaller, 0.12 million, 7.9% growth, and the rest of Africa makes up the bulk, 0.83 million, growing at 6.9%.
And the reasons for growth in Africa, even from a smaller base?
It's likely tied to gradual improvements in healthcare services generally, increasing awareness about oral health, although maybe slower than elsewhere.
Right.
Plus, rising cases of dental diseases, more clinics opening up, and some government initiatives trying to boost healthcare access. It's a slower burn, but the potential is there.
Okay, that's a great regional overview. Now, the report also slices the market in other ways, like product type, who uses them. Let's look at product types first.
Right, so the report breaks it down into the main equipment and the accessories. And the equipment segment is expected to dominate.
And within equipment, is there a particular type that's leading?
Yes, apparently touchscreen equipment is really taking the lead.
Yeah.
Probably because it's just easier to use, more intuitive for dentists.
Makes sense. Better control, maybe data storage too.
Exactly, all those factors. They're projected to hold like 60 to 65% of the market share.
Okay, so equipment leads, driven by touchscreens. What about the fastest growing product type?
That would be the accessories. Things like specialized probes, better batteries, attachments.
Ah, the add-ons.
Yeah, the demand for those is growing rapidly, maybe driven by the need to enhance the functionality of the main units, or the rise of more portable dental solutions needing compatible bits and pieces. Technology and accessories is advancing too.
Interesting. Okay, what about the end users? Who's buying this stuff?
Well, no surprise here, dental clinics hold the largest share. That's where most root canals happen, right? They need these high-precision tools day in, day out.
But is anyone else catching up or growing fast?
Actually, yes. The report highlights academics and research institutes as a segment that's expanding rapidly.
Oh, why is that?
It seems to reflect increased use in training new dentists, getting them familiar with the latest tech early on.
Point.
And also more use in research, maybe developing better endodontic techniques or validating new devices. It points to the innovation happening in the field.
The report also mentions categories like corded versus cordless and online versus offline sales channels, but doesn't seem to go deep on trends there.
Yeah, it lists them as categories, but the detailed analysis seems focused elsewhere. It's a bit of a gap, perhaps.
We could speculate, I guess. Cordless seems like it would be increasingly popular for convenience.
You'd think so, yeah. Portability is often a plus, and online sales channels disrupting traditional medical equipment distribution. That's a trend in other areas, maybe here too.
Possibly. Something to watch. So let's quickly summarize the main market forces. Drivers are clearly the need for precision.
Absolutely. Precise root canals are key. Plus, just the growing prevalence of dental problems needing treatment and better oral health awareness globally.
But there are brakes on this growth, too. Restraints.
Two main ones highlighted. First, the cost. These advanced devices aren't cheap, which can limit adoption, especially in, less wealthy regions or smaller clinics.
Understandable.
Second, limited awareness. In some rural areas or developing regions, dentists and patients might just not know enough about the benefits of this tech. Market penetration suffers there.
And looking ahead, what are the big trends shaping the future?
Digital and wireless integration seems huge. Expect more connected, smarter devices.
Right.
And also a continued push towards more compact, portable units. Dentists want flexibility and ease of use.
Makes sense. Finally, what about the companies making these things? The competitive landscape?
It's described as highly competitive. You've got big global names and smaller regional players all vying for position.
Any names mentioned?
Yeah, the report lists several key ones. Dentsply Sirona, Chengzhou Sifri Medical Technology, Coltine Group, Zhengzhou Senmi Dental, Ionex, Kerr Corp, and J. Marita Corp.
Okay, a mix of well-known and maybe some more specialized companies. Any recent moves?
The report notes a couple from February 2024. J. Marita launched a new model, the Root ZX3 Apex Locator with an HF module, likely aiming to push performance boundaries.
And Philips.
Philips partnered with Aspen Dental, a large dental network. They're integrating Philips Sonicare products, focusing on overall patient care, which indirectly supports the ecosystem for advanced treatments.
Right, promoting oral health generally. Okay, so wrapping this up. This deep dive clearly shows the Dental Apex Locator market is, well, growing significantly.
Definitely. Driven by that need for precision in endodontics and growing health awareness worldwide.
And we see real regional differences, especially that fast growth in APAC, alongside ongoing technological advancements.
It really leads to a fascinating thought, doesn't it? Thinking about these digital and wireless trends, how might things like AI or teledentistry start to play a role?
How could they change endodontics?
Yeah. Could AI help interpret readings? Could teledentistry make this precision accessible even in remote areas? Especially thinking about those underserved regions we mentioned.
That's a really interesting question for the future. How technology could bridge those gaps? Well, if this look at Apex Locators sparked your interest, remember this is just based on one detailed report. The dental tech field is always moving.
Constantly evolving.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.